Hello and welcome to United with Alvin. You can always unite with me by liking, subscribing, and commenting in the comment section below. Then let's get to the vibe. Today we'll talk about Carlos Baleba again and put some emphasis on a bid which is being imminent that United will bid for Carlos Baleba. Ruben Amorim has told the board that he's keen on Carlos Baleba. And now it be more, I think they had a board meeting and Ruben Amorim emphasizes on the need of getting Carlos Baleba because of the strategy and the formation that he wants to play. He needs an athletic midfielder, someone who can be in a box to box and carry the ball, open space, and who is good under pressure and who is also good in tackling. And Ruben Amorim has identified Carlos Baleba as the prime target to help United in a rebuild phase. And I think it comes to the point where Ruben Amorim has to decide whether he'll get both a midfielder and a goalkeeper, or United will go all in for Carlos Baleba and ignore the goalkeeper, entirely, the goalkeeper situation entirely. And it looks like Ruben Amorim has decided and has told the board that he wants Carlos Baleba at all costs, and he's willing to, bring in Baleba and let Onana stay at least for this season. And I think he believes when we have a player with that quality, the quality of Carlos Baleba, will be able to retain more possession and will control most of our games, and will be conceding less chances. So he's ready to take this risk and stick to Carlos Baleba. And it looks like we can, and most of the United players have gotten to Carlos Baleba's ears. I think Lenny Euro has spoken to him, Onana has spoken to him, Mbeumo has also spoken to him. When people are saying United are tapping, United are not tapping. Brighton is a selling club. Brighton wouldn't mind if we are already in contact with Carlos Baleba, and if you have already agreed a personal terms with him, whether 5 years or 6 months or whatever, they don't care. They know that the most important thing is you come to them and they don't negotiate the transfer fee. And Brighton's stance as at now is we are not selling Baleba, making it difficult for Man United to bring in a proposal which will convince them. Now it means United have to bring an astronomical a fee that is high enough to make them feel like they'll sell, because at this point they are not eager to sell Baleba. I mean, you know, definitely next season other teams will come in and it will be a transfer war. It will be other teams also trying to sign Carlos Baleba, and they might get a higher fee than if United are the only team in the race. So they don't care. But Keller tweeted that according to source at Manchester United, had a big board meeting on Tuesday with Ruben Amorim and things got pretty intense. Amorim made it clear that Carlos Baleba is a must signing this summer. The club credit facility is in place, so we understand Manchester United is about to bid. It's about to test Brighton's patience with an official bid. So this is what I was saying earlier. Ruben Amorim insisting on Man United getting Carlos Baleba because he knows Baleba will make everybody tick. He knows Baleba will be a more transformative signing than just being a signing. Because Carlos Baleba will bring a lot. He will be the glue to most of the things that Manchester United are doing. It is very, very important. And reading this as a United fan makes me happy, not just because United are keen on getting Baleba, but because Ineos are ready to back Amorim. Look, they have been forced down about Man United rebuilding for years. To be rebuilding for years, to be changing managers. For years, these managers comes in and bring in their players, and within some short time, we sack them, and then we have to change the plan again and reshape everything, and it takes a lot of time. It leads to Manchester United bringing in players that suit a new manager, and you have to find a way to sell at a cheaper price and bring in players again, and we don't give these managers the necessary time required to build a team. So this has been done. We have gone through this forced, rebuild stages for years, and this is I think it's got to the point in time where Ineos are ready to back Ruben Amorim, because when you look at Klopp took time for him to get Liverpool to where they are today. And even though Arsenal still won the league here, Arteta took them from nowhere, and now they're important because they stick to a manager and they played a system that they got familiarized with, and also brought in players that will help, that understood the system and help the team grow. And if you have a young player in such an environment, they can grow with the team. So I think Ineos are doing incredibly well for backing Ruben Amorim. With liking the Glazers with liking the Ineos, with liking Ineos with the Glazers. But I think Ineos have showed they are capable, or they've shown in this few. I think it's been a year or so in these few months that they have the intention of what taking Manchester United back to the top again. In as much that they have made unpopular decisions in what cutting down staffs, and then what take. I think they've laid most of Man United staff away, creating spaces for United to able to compete in the transfer market. And if you look at the players Ineos signed, or the players that were signed under Ineos, their wages are not high. If you let's take Lizexi is around maybe 60 to 70 or 60 to 80 million pounds, 80,000 pounds in terms of wages. Holland will be around 60,000. And even when Amad Diallo had an incredible season and they wanted to increase his wages, I think he was increased to 75,000, which is not bad. And if you look at Dogu, who came in January, 40,000 pounds. Who again, Mazwari, 120,000 pounds. The late 180,000 pounds. And remember, the late was around 250 to 300,000 pounds at Bayern Munich, and he had to take a huge wage cut to join Man United. So him being on 180,000 pounds is still a steal for Manchester United. We brought in Cunha, 150,000. Bemum's also 150,000, and I think Euro is also either under 100 or 100,000 pounds a week. So if you look at the wage structure under Ineos, it'll be very, very good. And if you look at Casimo contracts being expired, we either extend his contract or we let him go. With 350,000 pounds a week is good. Let him go. And Glazers, we bought in Mason Mount 200,000 pounds a week. Sancho 250,000 pounds a week. We increased Rashford wages to 350,000 or 300,000 pounds a week. Bought in Ronaldo, paid him around 500,000 pounds a week. So if you compare the Glazers to what Ineos are doing currently, they are actually putting in a plan, a process in what rebuilding the United, and they have a project that in 4 years time they will win the trophy. They are not saying they will wait to 4 years. If through that process they have the opportunity to win the Premier League, they will win. But they feel in 4 years they'll be capable of winning the Premier League, or at least they'll be capable of challenging for the title. And if you look at the foundations that they are laying down, it's leading us to winning the Premier League trophy. It was never even. I didn't even think United would be will sign Cunha in Bumo, Sesko in this transfer window. Let alone trying to bid big for Carlos Baleba. And if you're able to bring Carlos Baleba at this time, because they are taking the risk. I'm hearing they are expanding their credit facility in order to get Carlos Baleba, because when you have a player like Carlos Baleba in Man United and we are able to succeed this season, next season will be top 4, go to the Champions League or maybe Europa. It's an extra cash, extra incentives, extra eyes, extra whatever, and we use that extra money to what, to offset those facilities, and it will, you know, push the rebuild process further. It will kickstart it further. It will make it, will feel that we are in the right track, And they also, the, how do we call it? The current thing, they rebuild it. 50 million pounds. So they are on track. They are really invested. They've really put in measures, for Manutd to win the trophy. So it will be very, very good if they stick to win Amarim, and it also will be on Amarim to get his message across to, at least, if you are not win consistently, we'll see patterns and hope, because it's difficult watching your team lose and not being able to do anything. As fans, we would like the manager to be changed, but I believe Ineos will stick to win Amarim, and help him in this transition period. Because it's take that United have been bad for decades now, close to decade, over decades, probably 12 to 15 years. So to rebuild Man United, it will take time, especially with our financial struggles. We have to find creative ways of being able to what, doing well in the transfer window and break in players. And the most important thing that you notice in this transfer window is we are not buying players because they are good. We are not buying players because other teams want them. We are not buying players because they have potential. We are buying players that fit the system. We are buying players that will help propel the team. Because remember, after that, the first 3 games under a Ruben Amorim regime, he went straight to the ball and said he wants athletic players. He wants players that are physically good. He wants players that are physically strong. And Mbemu, strong. Konya, strong. Sesko, tall, strong. And he started getting Baleba, strong. He started getting people who can adapt to the Premier League. Unlike other managers, when you look at Eric Ten Hag like this, he brought in players that were cool technically, but he didn't bring in players that will what, adapt to the Premier League. He brought in Anthony. Anthony was good at a yes, and when he went to Real Betis, you could see how good he was. But he doesn't fit the Premier League. It will take him time for him to get acclimatized to the Premier League because of the physicality, because of the fitness. He wants to get in it done. Haaland, even though I still like Haaland, his failures are there to see. They didn't bring in players that will fit the Premiership. Brought in Casemiro in dying legs. We're making signings that were good somewhere but weren't fit in the Premier League. But this time around, you could see there's intention, there's intent of how we are doing the business. And Omar Beretta being at the helm, and Jesse Wilkos and Christopher Pavel has done incredible work. So United have to stick to Ruben Amorim. At least the fans have to be patient. Whether we are being, beaten, we have to have patience to Ruben Amorim to grow the team. For us to grow the team, we have to stand by a manager in order for his principle to, for the players and the team as a whole to get aligned to his principle. Rashford had an interview with Gary Lineker, and there are certain things that he said where I feel is in alignment, or maybe he has shed light on certain things that we as Man United fans have been saying for some time now. And this is what he said. And this is what he said. People say that we have been in a transition. We have been in a transition for years. But to be in a transition, you have to start it. The actual transition hasn't started yet. When Liverpool went through this, they got Jurgen Klopp and stuck with him. They didn't win in the beginning. People only remember his final few years when he was competing with Manchester City and winning the biggest trophies. To start a transition, you have to make a plan and stick to it. This is where I speak about being realistic about what your situation is. We have had that many different managers, ideas and strategies. In order to win that, you end up in no man's land. When Alex Ferguson was in charge, not only were the principals for the first team, but they were for the whole academy. So you could pick players from 50 years and they all understand the principles of playing in the United way. Any team that has been successful over a period of time has principles. That means that any coach or player that comes in has to align to or add to the principle. At times, United were hungry to win, but it was rational, but it was reactionary. If your direction is always changing, you can't expect to win the league. Rashford also admit it hurts to see his former club struggling, adding, yeah, 100%, but it's not just as a player, but also as a fan. And this is what I was alluding to, that United finally has to back Ruben Amorim. They have to back a coach because during Ferguson era, we had an identity. We have an identity, wingers. Main identity was speed with wingers and the wingers tracking back. With the likes of, we had Van Giggs, we had Beckham, we had Ronaldo, we had Nani, we had Park Jin-soo, we had Valencia, we have Ashley Young. You could see the move focus was playing off and from the wings. Jose Mourinho came, whether we were be a counter-attack team or whether we were a deep line playing team, we didn't know. Van Gaal came in to give us an identity of what? Possessing the game, but it was too slow. United didn't have patience with him, even though he won the FA Cup. Fans didn't have patience with him, and he left. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in, and tried to play the Ferguson way. Couple of wins, one season wonder, he left. Eric Ten Hag came. We thought he was bringing the Ajax system here. He failed. Ruben Amorim, if credit to him, he has stuck with his system for I think 4 or 6 months. And even though we've lost, he stuck to the system. Currently, United don't have an identity. And for Ruben Amorim to stick, sometimes fans complain that why he doesn't change the three back to 4 back, and he's constantly sticking with the 3 back, and United are losing. Amagua had an interview where Ferdinand interviewed Amagua a couple of days ago, and he was speaking about the system and the formation. And he said, even though sometimes they are always 3 at the back, sometimes they play 4 at the back. Sometimes in the game they can even play 5 at the back, 3 at the back, 4 at the back. So if people keep saying that, they say no, the system changes. It changes depending on how they want to approach the game, depending on how the opponent are set up. So we can see that it's 3 back, but it's not always 3 back. No, United don't have an identity, and we have to back a coach. We have to stick with a coach for a long period of time in order for you to get an identity. In order for you to get an identity, United need that identity in order to progress. Other than that, we'll get fed up with Ruben Amorim in the next 2 or 3 months, and we have to let it go. Bring in a manager, and the players that are already in will not suit the new manager, and we'll have to struggle and find a way to let these people go at a cheaper price and to affect the finances of Manchester United. And you have to restart again. And we kept saying we are rebuilding. This is the first time I have seen an actual rebuild of Manchester United. I'm telling you, all this rebuild that we kept saying was going to happen were all false dawns. This is the first time I have seen an actual rebuild of Manchester United. Sticking with the manager who failed in half of the season and backing the manager. And Ruben Amorim also has a track record of doing it. He did similar thing at Sporting when he came in the winter, and then led Sporting Lisbon to one of their lowest league position to that low. He was terrible. Went to the summer, sold 8 players and brought in around 9 to 11 players, and he would automatically change the whole skill of Sporting Lisbon. Sporting Lisbon had not won the league for I think 20 to 25 years, and in the last 5 years, Ruben Amorim won 4. So we have to find a manager that we trust And as fans, we have to also be patient and for the team to back him. Klopp was backed, and Liverpool are reaping this, the benefit. And when he left, you could see the foundations already be laid. Similar applying to Arsenal. Again, in as much we want ours quick, we also have to have patience for Ruben Amorim. United have to find a way to connect everything, back a manager, and win. Other than that, we'll keep on recycling managers and we'll keep on rebuilding, and we'll never come to an end of our rebuild. We will not ever even start. Like Rashford said, we've not started a rebuild. We kept saying the rebuild. We've not started, because when you keep changing managers, the principles or whatever changes again, and there is no identity. For us to win and for a team to win, for a team to be successful, they have to stick with the manager for 5 years. For him to what? Create a path for his identity and create a path for success. But nobody can just come to Man United within 3 or 4 months or within a season and drastically change the scale of Manchester United. We've been shambolic for years. We've been shambolic for years, so it will take time. It will take time. I hope the board backs Ruben Amorim. Clearly, they are doing it. Clearly, they are sticking to their man. And as fans, we are little patient for the manager. Win, lose, or draw, we still have to back the manager, even though it's painful. As a fan, it's painful. As a fan, it sucks. As a fan, it sucks. Please comment, like, and subscribe, and help my channel grow. Help my channel grow, bro. Help my channel grow.